Gary Lineker has been the face of BBC football for more than a quarter of a century. But in the end, the final whistle came a little earlier than he was expecting.
Number 10, Frank Bough. Best known for working as a regular host on the BBC sports show Grandstand from 1968 to 1983 and covering football World Cup content, Bough was one of the UK's most famous TV presenters.
He was one of the few people totally at ease with hours of live television. His career went back to the 60s. He'd done Match of the Day, Grandstand, and 10 years of Nationwide before launching Breakfast Time with Selena Scott and Nick Ross.
Yet in 1988, his reputation was severely tarnished when newspapers reported Bough had been taking illegal substances and employing sex workers, going against his clean-cut image. After the BBC fired him, Bough managed to find work elsewhere.
He worked elsewhere. Here he is on commercial radio. And they invited him back to the Beeb to reminisce about the 1970s.
However, in 1992, further reports were published claiming he'd been involved in additional intimate acts involving a dungeon. As a result, Bough tumbled into obscurity, getting work in small shows and radio before passing away in 2020. Since then, there have been multiple misconduct allegations over his behavior during his heyday.
There were more tabloid stories, and eventually the work dried up. A sad end for a master of live television.
Number 9, Sports Illustrated accused of using AI. AI can be a useful tool, yet generative AI is a murky area that causes considerable controversy.
But yesterday, the venerable publication became the story. This after a bombshell report suggesting that not only were articles on the SI website generated by AI, but that the supposed authors were themselves fake.
With that in mind, in 2023, Sports Illustrated was accused of using artificial intelligence to create articles. It was found by Futurism that some of the authors had fake names and their portraits were found on AI-generated image websites.
It was using these AI-generated headshots and images that they actually found a website that you could basically type in things like white young adult male with brown hair and blue eyes, and then like your viewers just saw, get Drew's profile back.
Sports Illustrated soon deleted the accused articles. However, the articles were then republished by them under other AI-suspected fake writers. The Arena Group, which licensed Sports Illustrated, claimed the articles were written by Advon Commerce and had used pseudonyms to protect writers with no AI involvement.
The Arena Group, which publishes Sports Illustrated, said that the content in question came from a third party called Advon Commerce, which supplied the Post. Sports Illustrated ended that partnership, as you might anticipate.
Regardless, the Arena Group fired its CEO, Ross Levinson, shortly after. Number 8, Charlie Dixon. In 2015, Dixon was hired as the executive vice president of content at Fox Sports. According to a 2025 lawsuit issued by the network's former host, Julie Stewart-Binks, it didn't take long for Dixon to abuse his position. She stated she was called to his hotel to discuss Fox's plans for the 2016 Super Bowl. Instead, Dixon belittled Stewart-Binks, shattering her confidence. He then asked Stewart-Binks to his hotel room where Dixon assaulted her before she could escape. Stewart-Binks then claimed she was pushed out of her job for not accepting Dixon's advances. Supported by Nosheen Faraji's lawsuit, which also mentions Dixon's misconduct, the VP was suspended by Fox before being fired later. Number 7, Jimmy Snyder. Better known as Jimmy the Greek, Snyder was an eccentric commentator on the NFL Today.
Well, you can say that again and in spades.
Known for alluding to sports betting since he had a history in bookmaking, Snyder's charisma kept viewers engaged. However, that goodwill was destroyed after an interview with WRC-TV in 1988.
If they take over coaching like everybody wants them to, there's not going to be anything left for the white people.
Doing a segment about Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, Snyder made controversial statements, including his belief that black people are better athletes due to breeding practices during slavery. Due to the backlash, CBS fired Snyder.
While we deplore the incident this weekend, we are saddened that our 12-year association with Jimmy had to end this way.
In 1991, he attempted to sue the broadcaster for unfair dismissal, claiming various issues such as age discrimination, but was unsuccessful. Number 6, Marv Albert. When he retired in 2021, media outlets praised Albert's long NBA and NFL broadcasting career.
Marv Albert, the greatest basketball announcer of all time. Thanks for a spectacular career.
However, barely mentioned was the scandal that would have cost most people their jobs. In 1997, Albert was accused of assaulting 2 women, claims supported by DNA evidence. However, he originally asserted they were consensual acts. Albert eventually agreed to a plea deal, earning him a 12-month suspended sentence.
Well, it's been a nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, what else is there to say about it? And it's been a horrible experience going through this, and particularly for my family.
After a year, the conviction was also expunged from his records. After pleading guilty, Albert was fired by NBC. Yet by 1998, he was hired by Madison Square Garden Network, which the media was uncomfortably joyful about. The following year, Albert was rehired by NBC before he moved to TNT when the network lost the NBA rights.
Reggie, with tonight's game winding down, I'm thinking, well, this is it. My last broadcast, and all that's going through my mind is I have been so fortunate to be doing this, nice photo here, for 55 years.
Number 5, Richard Keys and Andy Gray. When Sky Sports began its Premier League coverage in 1992, Keys and Gray worked as one of the network's main double acts.
I'm afraid Andy and I have got to go at this point. There's no point trying to go on. We will see you on Wednesday. Goodbye from both of us.
Yet even though they were a fixture of Sky Sports, there was no coming back from their scandals in 2011. Firstly, Keys and Gray were recorded making misogynistic comments about a female football assistant referee.
She also said to me, please, it was just banter. And I said, I know that, Sean. I know that, and you know. She said, I expected it last week at Sunderland. It's just a little bit of fun. I said, I know, but there are other people now who have decided it's not.
This was followed by Gray being recorded grossly asking co-presenter Charlotte Jackson to tuck his microphone in, and by Keys making inappropriate comments about women. As a result, Gray was fired from Sky Sports as Keys resigned. Weirdly, the latter claimed dark forces behind the scenes were involved in his departure. The duo eventually found work with Cutter's beIN Sports.
Well, I'm going to give you another one, and you may laugh at me, right? I'm going to give you another one.
Number 4, Gary Lineker. Every Saturday night since 1999, many viewers had tuned into the BBC's Match of the Day, which shows the highlights of the Premier League, to see Lineker anchoring.
What a year it's been for Manchester United. They've won a treble and remained unbeaten at Old Trafford. Quite a task then for today's visitors, Leicester City.
However, in recent years, the record-breaking long-running host has found his political comments on social media stirring up controversy. This included comparing the UK government's immigration stance to Germany during World War II.
He was temporarily suspended from his role in 2023 over comments he made about the then government's asylum policy.
In 2024, it was announced that Lineker was leaving Match of the Day and the broadcaster after finishing his contractual agreements. However, in 2025, Lineker shared a video about Zionism that allegedly contained anti-Semitic imagery. As such, after apologizing, he announced he was leaving the BBC after hosting the season's final Match of the Day.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your love and support over the years. It's been so special, and I'm sorry that your team was always on last. Time to say goodbye.
Number 3, Lisa Olson's New England Patriots experience. In 1990, while working as a reporter for the Boston Herald, Olson went into the locker room of the New England Patriots after practice to speak with the players.
Apparently, a couple of the players had decided to teach me a lesson that if I was going to be in their locker room, that they're going to give me what they thought I was in there for.
Instead of getting standard tales to write about, the journalist experienced a very uncomfortable time. According to Olson, players were misogynistic and made crass comments and gestures toward her while wearing nothing.
That's what I wouldn't look. I saw him approaching me.
So others have told you that that's
yes.
what's happening.
After the NFL conducted an investigation, it fined the Patriots $50,000 and 3 of their players, including Zeke Mowat, a total of $22,500. Despite this, Patriot fans tormented Olson and sent her threats.
Oh, I've had about 7 or 8 phone calls on my answering machine calling me names that I probably cannot say on the air. Nothing that it can be repeated.
In 1991, she issued a lawsuit against the NFL franchise and the individuals involved, which was settled out of court for an undisclosed amount. Number 2, Stuart Hall. After presenting It's a Knockout and commentating on football matches, Hall's legend was seemingly immortalized in the UK.
Thank you for that rhapsodic, unscripted welcome. Thank you.
However, in 2012, that all changed. In the fallout of the Jimmy Savile scandal, women began coming forward with their stories of Hall abusing them when they were girls. In 2013, the disgraced presenter admitted to 14 charges, earning him a bizarrely short 15-month sentence. The outrage at the lenient sentence resulted in the Court of Appeals doubling it to 30 months.
An increase of the sentencing, I think, is very important, and I'm happy that that has happened. It's better than the 15 months, without a doubt.
In 2014, Hall was found guilty of another attack, earning him a further 2.5 years in jail. He was released in 2015 and soon began criticizing his victims publicly, further tainting his legacy. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few dishonorable mentions. Tom Morris. In 2022, Morris was fired from Fox Footy for offensive comments about a colleague.
And within 24 hours, Morris had been sacked, thus ending 15 minutes of fame that he could certainly have done without.
Skip Bayless. In 2025, Bayless was issued a lawsuit for harassment by hairstylist Nushin Faraji.
A longtime hairstylist is suing former Undisputed host Skip Bayless, Fox Sports, and their parent company, Fox Corporation, for unspecified damages.
Carissa Thompson. In 2023, Thompson claimed she made up elements as a sideline sports reporter.
I would make up the report sometimes because A, the coach wouldn't come out at halftime, or it was too late, and I was like, I didn't want to screw up the report, so I was like, I'm just going to make this up.
Marley Rivera. In 2023, after making an offensive comment to another journalist, Rivera was fired by ESPN. Number 1, Erin Andrews' stalking incident. In 2009, Andrews' life was rocked to its foundation. That year, intimate footage of the then ESPN reporter was leaked online.
What was that feeling when you first saw yourself?
Oh, I think to this day, how many years later, you can still see it on my face. I was just stunned. I was in shock. I was embarrassed. I was freaking out so much that when I called my parents, my dad thought I had been injured in a car accident because I was just screaming bloody murder on the other end.
It was soon discovered that while at the Nashville Marriott in Nashville, Tennessee, Michael Barrett used a peephole to record her changing. He was arrested as further unreleased footage was found involving Andrews at the Radisson Airport Hotel in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. In 2010, after pleading guilty, Barrett was sentenced to 2.5 years.
Barrett received the maximum sentence, 2.5 years in jail, for posting and trying to profit off the videos, some of which remain in cyberspace.
In 2015, Andrews issued a lawsuit against Nashville Marriott and Barrett for $75 million. The following year, she was awarded $55 million. In 2016, Andrews claimed ESPN, to dispel publicity stunt rumors, wouldn't let her back on air until she did a TV interview about the experience, adding more trauma.
He said he hoped one day you could forgive him.
Yeah.
Have you?
No.
Do you think you could?
No.
Which other sporting broadcast scandals did we miss? Let us know below.
Got some breaking news to bring you now. The former Match of the Day pundit and One Show presenter Jermaine Genius has admitted sending inappropriate text messages to 2 women he worked with.